Hey Taurus, and welcome to eclipse season. There's Zoe, she's saying hey too. I have a couple of announcements, and then we're going to get on to the astrology and tarot. So first, I want to welcome all of my new viewers and subscribers. Thank you so much for joining us here, and I'm so happy that you found this channel. We're going to be experiencing a rare eclipse season. We're going to be undergoing 3 eclipses. This one in August and 2 in September. Eclipse season is known as the thinning of the veil, and it's basically intended to put you back on the path that you're supposed to be on. The impacts can last up to 6 months. It really depends on what happens for you at the eclipse as to whether it's going to last longer than 6 months or not. Prime example is my particular case. I was yanked back on my path after the October blood moon in 2014. My house caught on fire in the middle of the night, and it was of no negligence of my own. It was my neighbor's issues, and didn't have any renter's insurance or anything. It was a really sad story. So that eclipse yanked me by the hair of my head, and I was kicking and screaming back on a more appropriate path for me, and that includes where I am right now speaking to y'all. So eclipses work, y'all. The last lunar eclipse that we experienced was March 23rd, 2016, and it was at 3 degrees of Libra. This is going to be a penumbral eclipse, and that is when the sun, the moon, and earth are all aligned in an almost straight line. This eclipse is going to be occurring for us at 25 degrees Aquarius, so that's fixed air energy, and the fixed signs are known for being on the good side, goal-oriented and determined, but on the not-so-precious side, inflexible and stubborn. I did a little research on the word fixed, and it comes from the Latin word fixus, which means to latch on to or to fasten. The 25-degree Aquarius Sabian symbol reads, a butterfly with the right wing more perfectly formed. Sabian symbols were created in 1925 by a clairvoyant named Elsie Wheeler, and they are used to represent 0 to 30 degrees of each zodiac sign of the astrological wheel. So, Taurus, thank you so much for sticking through the introduction. If you did, thumbs up, bonus points for you. Appreciate you. I'm going to have all of this time stamped. I'm also going to have 2 different videos down in linked down in the description below. Man, I'm having some Mercury shadow issues already. Having a hard time talking and getting these videos up. My gosh. But yeah, the 2 videos are going to be dealing with the planet Uranus and Eris, and it's also going to be speaking about the other one will be about the fixed star and Taurus, which is going to be a pretty prominent player after the eclipse as well. So, all of that's coming up in the astrology, which will speak most strongly to Taurus Sun and Taurus Rising, but this is a full moon eclipse, so it may speak to the Taurus moons too. I have a Taurus moon, we'll see. Alright, y'all, thanks for being here. Hang tight, I'll be right back. Hey Taurus, we'll be experiencing a full moon lunar eclipse at 25 degrees Aquarius in your 10th house. The 10th house is ruled by Capricorn, and it represents career, status, reputation, authorities, authority figures, and destiny. All the world is a stage, according to William Shakespeare, and this is the stage that you approach the world on and how the world knows you. On the 21st, we have a pretty strong energy day going on. We will have the moon, which will be in Aries, and that will be conjunct the planet Uranus and the planetoid Eris. And all of this will be occurring in your 12th house. The 12th house speaks to limitations, repression, karma, self-undoing, secret enemies. It's the house of secrets that you keep from yourself, and it can also be the house of dreams. The moon conjunct Uranus and Eris is basically an amplification of those energies. The conjunction is. So the moon is it's representative of your response or your feeling. Uranus is the planet that represents shocks and surprises, also changes, liberation and rebellion. Eris is best thought of as Xena warrior princess energy, and Aries is a very fierce and courageous, impulsive kind of sign. So, I really see that being possibly a very impactful dream or a very karmic time for you. Just heads up. On the very next day, the 22nd, we have the sun moving into Virgo, which is your 5th house. The sun represents your life force, your assertion and will, the self-expression that you have. The 5th house is ruled by Leo, and that is the house of pleasure, social life, children, and creativity. It's also the house of gambling and lottery, so you may want to put $1 or $2 down for a lottery ticket. And if you win, put down below that you did. I'd love to celebrate that with you. On the 24th, we have another strong energy day, so it's like we have the eclipse, and then boom, boom, just right after, like within a week's time. We have Mars and Saturn conjunct at 9 degrees Sagittarius, which is on top of the fixed star in Taurus, and that is a malevolent star. It's a bad dude. Once again, conjunction is an amplification of the energies present. So Mars is the planet that represents energy, impulse, and aggression. Saturn is the planet that represents containment, structure, and limitation. This is occurring in your 8th house, which is ruled by Scorpio, which represents life, death, rebirth, other people's money, regeneration, transformation, metamorphosis, sexuality, primal, and basic instincts. So this can be a very powerful day for you. It may be the day that you win a little money from putting that money down on the 22nd. That would be super cool if that happened. I think I'm going to do that. I've got a Taurus moon, right? Fingers crossed. On the 29th, we have Venus moving into Libra. Venus loves being in Libra. Venus rules you, Taurus, and also Libra. So this is going to feel good for you. She'll feel like she's at home in a way, like her home away from home, like her vacation home. The 6th house is the house of work and health, or the skills and competency that you bring to the services that you provide. So you may be getting news of more hours or extra money coming your way from work. If you're female, you may want to go see a doctor if you don't have work energy popping for you. Just an idea. The 6th house is work and health. So if you don't have a job or something that you work at daily that feels like it is fulfilling for you or rewards you like a job would, then you might want to pay attention to your health. On the 30th, the very next day, we have Mercury going retrograde at 29 degrees of Virgo in your 5th house. Mercury is the planet of movement, thought, and communication. It's how you think, it's how you talk, it's how people understand you, and it is how you get from point A to point B, and it's also how the devices that you use to communicate with or on. So all of those areas might be a little delayed for you, especially dealing with the 5th house. The 5th house is Leo ruled, and it deals with pleasures, children, social life, and creativity. So you may be having a reevaluation of those areas in that energy. Mercury will go station direct at around September 22nd, and I want to believe that it will be at 14 degrees Virgo. I don't have that written down, so that's going by memory. If I got that right, yay. So Taurus, that's what I'm seeing for you astrologically. I'm going to shift over to the tarot portion and see if there's any other messages that want to come forward for us. And I will be doing a regular spread, but I'll also be pulling a card from the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck by Elena Fairchild, and I'm also going to be pulling from the Healing and Meditation Oracle deck because this is an eclipse. I want to give you as much information and foresight as I can to empower you and enlighten your path along the way. All right, Taurus, hang tight. I'll be right back. Thanks for hanging on. Hey, my Taurus brothers and sisters. I'm back with the cards. I've been shuffling and meditating, asking for the general messages for Taurus for this full moon lunar eclipse in August. Okay, you had 2 cards fall. I'm going to go ahead and cut. The bottom card for the overarching theme or the underlying energy. The top 3 for clarity. Put that aside. Grab my Healing and Meditation Oracle deck for my Taurus brothers and sisters for this August, oh goodness, August full moon lunar eclipse. Do you see this? Like, really? Okay, that's 3. A lot that needs to be, I guess, brought forward for us, Taurus. I say us because I have a Taurus moon. Okay, the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck by Elena Fairchild, and the artwork is by Autumn Sky Morrison. All right. Put that aside. I'm trying to get myself situated and figure out how this story wants to come forward. Let me write the numbers down to help with the numerology breakdown in a holistic overview. The bottom card, the underlying theme or the overarching energy, however you choose to see it, is the Nine of Cups in reverse. The Nine of Cups represents the wish. I mean, this is the wish card. This is being quite content with what you have and having everything you need and more. The cups represent water sign energy for me. The water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. It does not have to be their sun sign. It can be their moon or rising. You will not know that unless you've looked at their chart or they've shared that information with you. It also represents emotions and relationships, things that fill you up and make you feel solid and whole. The 9 speaks to the Sagittarius World 9th house, which represents long-distance trips, adventures and questing, higher education, philosophy, religion, legal system matters. Okay. I'm going to start with the Ten of Swords, which is not anywhere near the beginning of the card spread. It's actually the middle card that I pulled for you. But the Ten of Swords, for me, represents many things. Let's talk about it. The 10 represents the 10th house, which is ruled by Capricorn, which speaks to career status, reputation, authorities, and destiny. This is how you approach the world and how the world sees you. You are having this full moon lunar eclipse in your 10th house, so this feels like an ending of some sort. And it doesn't have to be the ending of your career. It can be the ending of a project that has really just driven you just absolutely mad and has really challenged you. This can be the rebirth of a reputation. This could be the reversal of luck in dealing with the authorities. The majority black background card really makes me want to emphasize that it is always darkest before dawn, and the way that this color gradients through, it feels as though it is that turning off and turning on again of the light, like what the eclipses do. It gives you a different perspective on what's going on. Imagine walking into a room with the light on, turning that light off, letting your eyes adjust to the dark, and then turning the light back on. The room looks the same, but it is a little different from your previous view. It's just the way that it is. That's exactly what eclipses do for us. It's highlighting energy in your 10th house specifically. Now, the swords are pointing to this Three of Pentacles upright. The Pentacles cards represent Earth sign energy, which is and represents you, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. The 3 speaks to the Gemini-ruled house of communication, short-distance trips, siblings, cousins, and neighbors. You aren't having any third house energy astrologically, but it feels like, Swords energy represents air signs, which is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, but it also speaks to arguments and verbal sparring with words. And with it pointing up to this Three of Pentacles, it may be that you are wanting to contest some sort of an observation that may have occurred at work. Because this is, for me, the apprenticeship card, where you are being observed and you are displaying your skills for people to critique. Also a majority black card, always darkest before dawn. You are being watched in that situation. And that was one of the cards that fell of the 2. The second card that fell with that 2 of Pentacles was the 8 of Pentacles. And once again, the Pentacles represent Earth sign energy. That is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. It also speaks to money and resources. Anything that you would spend on another living thing or situation. Money, time, energy, love, dedication, focus, energy, whatever it is. This guy is... if this guy is the apprentice, this guy is the journeyman. He's able to work without people over his shoulder, but he is only mastered one of these pentacles. He still has all of this to go. The 8 speaks to the 8th house, which is ruled by Scorpio. That may mean something to you. The 8th house is representative of life, death, and rebirth, primal or basic instinct, sexuality, regeneration, transformation, metamorphosis, and other people's money. You are having 8th house energy on the 24th, and that's dealing with Saturn and Mars conjunct at 9 degrees of Sagittarius. So you may be getting word about money for school or money for a trip. The card underneath that mirrors the 8 is the 6 of Cups. The cups represent water sign energy for me, which is Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Scorpio has come up before, so that could really ring very strongly for you. But the 6 speaks to the Virgo ruled house of work and health, or the skills and competencies that you bring to the services that you provide. This is a happy little card. You have, it isn't the charity card, but it's where you have enough for yourself and enough to share without feeling the lack. Queen of Cups was the first card that was pulled for you by me. Queen of Cups is very intuitive. She's empathetic, and she can be quite moody. She's in her feels. She can be intense at times. She's very instinctual. She can be mystical or visionary, compassionate, or even escapist. But she's very focused on what's inside of this cup. She doesn't have to open it to see what is in it. She already knows. And I think that the Queen of Cups energy is speaking to the 12th house stuff you have going on the 21st, where each individual Taurus is going to have it play out differently for them, because the 12th house is such a broad house. It covers so many different topics. But whatever it is, Taurus, you already know or you're going to know what it's about when it comes to you, is what it's looking like for me. But I want to say that this guy right here is representative of Saturn and Mars conjunct at 9, because this 9 degrees of Sagittarius, Sagittarius rules the 9th house. It's like, it's going to be a very emotional time for you. It's dealing with a very, once again, broad house, life, death, rebirth. Those are huge topics in themselves. Primal or basic instinct, regeneration, other people's money. It can be any of those topics or a blend of those topics. But I feel like this card really speaks to the 24th for you, because of the 9 and it being so emotional, and this being such impulsive and emotional energy. It feels like what you had wanted isn't coming true for you, or you're seeing it in a different light now that the eclipse has happened, and you're understanding that what you wished for may not be what you want. Is kind of what I'm seeing with that. And once again, I added up the numbers of each of these cards before I started. You got the 3 of Pentacles and the 8 of Pentacles. You got the 9 of Cups, the 6 of Cups, and the 10 of Swords. All of that added up to 36. 3 plus 6 is 9. You're not having any specific 9th house energy, but once again, it goes back to that Mars and Saturn conjunction at 9 degrees of Sagittarius. I feel like this ended up being the end result card of the spread, but this also speaks to the overall energy of the spread. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I do want to empower you with the energy that is coming forth to you. You do have free will, and you can change the outcome if you so choose. You just have to be aware as to what's going on. You got 3 healing and meditation oracle cards. So the first is diet. You are having work and health energy, so this may be speaking to your 6th house. Diet reads, a nutritious daily diet contributes significantly to a long and healthy life. Consider what you eat, the amount you eat, and the speed at which you eat, and incorporate your thoughts on these matters into your meditation. I am aware of the flavor and texture of every mouthful I take. I give thanks for the bountiful harvest and take nothing for granted. I am trying to eat more slowly and to consume smaller quantities. I value sharing with others the pleasure of meals. The second card you got was motivation. You may wonder what motivates people to meditate and whether meditation can bring true and lasting rewards. Trying to express in words and thoughts what you hope to gain from meditation can be a revelation in itself. Consider the following, Taurus. May I learn more about myself and the purpose of my life through meditation. May meditation make me a better, more compassionate human being. Oh, I love that. May new insights and experiences broaden my horizons. May my life be happier, healthier, and less stressful. Amen. The last card, priorities. It is much easier to attain happiness and peace of mind if you know what your priorities are, but establishing your priorities is not as easy as it sounds and can require considerable wisdom and self-knowledge. At those times in your life when difficult and important decisions need to be made, it can be very helpful to try a meditation on priorities. So consider the following. Let me get to know myself better so that I may make wise decisions. Let me be free of the desire to acquire more material possessions. Let me appreciate the pleasure of the moment and the value of friendship. Grant me insight into the nature of things and teach me to be fair and just. The Sacred Rebel Oracle card that just stood at attention out of the deck for you was Releasing Allegiances, and it is the 10th card, speaking to the full moon lunar eclipse energy that you will be experiencing on the 18th of this month. And I think this speaks pretty strongly to what's going on throughout this entire tarot spread. Releasing allegiances. To thine own self be true, Taurus. And I understand being a fixed sign, it's very hard to let it go. But understand that you are only beholden to yourself. And in the end, you are only responsible for yourself. You're not responsible for anybody else's happiness, and nobody else is responsible for yours. It took me a long time to learn that lesson, and if just one of you beautiful souls can learn from my mistake through that, please, please do. She's nurturing herself. She's employing her self-care and her self-love. She's completely nude in this experience, which means that you may feel completely naked. The 10 speaks to the 10th house, which is ruled by Capricorn, which speaks to career, status, reputation, authorities, authority figures, destiny. It is the stage you approach the world on and how the world knows you. There's bees all over her. So if you're needing some girl power music, listen to some Beyonce to help you to release allegiances. Let me look up the guidebook and see what it wants to say. You have completed many cycles in the vibrational frequency of consciousness that you are now being asked to release. You have been in that vibrational frequency for some time now, and you have earned the right to step out of that frequency, out of the habits, relationships, and the possibilities that are limited to that outmoded frequency. It is now time to expand into the higher frequencies of experience that will bring enhanced love, empowerment, and peace into your life. You will take the wisdom of what you have learned with you into something new. New connections, new relationships, new life experiences at a higher turn of the spiral of life. But first, you. Trust that you can step into solitude for a time without being consumed by loneliness. It is a time to reconnect with yourself. Perhaps you have had a period of outward orientation where your energy has been diverted away from the inner journey of self-discovery and creative self-expression and into the world of lists, schedules, and demands. Trust that you may need to step back momentarily even from your healthy relationships and commitments to refresh your spirit by reconnecting with your own nature in solitude. Perhaps you have been diving so deep into the creative waters that you've lost your bearings or your energetic connection to the earth, your own life, and your needs in the here and now. Either way, you need to come back to the ground of your own body. This is a time for self-love, for paying attention to yourself, for nurturing, holding, and just being with you. It doesn't matter, or it doesn't mean you can't love another. It just means that you need to turn your attention inwards for a while, for some quality time with you. You will emerge renewed, refreshed, and clearer about your journey and your relationships as a result for this. This oracle brings confirmation that the work you have been doing on yourself is working for you. Your level of self-love is growing, and your ability to love consciously and healthily is increasing as a result. Some connections in your life will mature along with you, and your regard and affection will deepen and blossom. It will be revealed that other relationships are no longer relevant to your life journey. You will know which is which because you will feel it. And you will feel it most clearly when you have some time to be with yourself in reconnection. This oracle comes with particular guidance. There is a situation that has recently arisen or will arise soon where you will need to back yourself. Stand your ground and stay aligned with what you know to be true, no matter how wonderful something seems logically or on the surface. If it doesn't feel right for you, it is not for you at this time. Either way, backing yourself and not giving in to the opinion of another, no matter how highly you would have rated that opinion in the past, is important. And it is highly likely that you are breaking with tradition, with a role model or a belief system that you have outgrown. You must be there for yourself because you are doing well. You are on the right path and you are growing. Well done, Taurus. I think that is so beautiful for this full moon lunar eclipse message. Y'all, I hope that this reading was empowering and enlightened you. If it did, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for all of your time and attention, the messages, the emails, the comments. They all mean so much to me. I will be around for the September lunations and the eclipses, so heads up for that. Your work and your health is going to be playing out pretty big for you. So, pay special mind to that. Be kind to yourself. Employ your self-care. Employ your self-love. Understand that everybody else is going through this too. It's just hitting us in different places and different tender areas in our chart. So, try to save a little bit of that kindness for others around you if you can. I hope that this full moon enlightens you and brightens your path. I hope that it helps you to make the right decisions to bring you on the path that this eclipse is trying to show for you. So, Taurus, take care of yourself. I'll be around in September. I hope to see you too. Until then, namaste, y'all.